Yo, what is going on, guys? Back with another RambleCast video. Woo! Yeah, anyway, today's I didn't record at all yesterday. I was planning on doing a RambleCast and a stream. Now I've made it a bit harder for myself. Now I'm gonna try and record a Fallout 4 stream, episode 1, already out in the subscription box below. And I'm gonna try and do a review of the United game and not get copyright claimed. Not that it matters, but I don't want strikes on the channel. I still enjoy making videos, even if I don't make money off them. Goddamn. But good. I guess that's the one benefit of the copyright strike system, is that it doesn't matter if you get copyright strike, because I don't make money anyway. But yeah, I believe it's the 23rd. Is it the 23rd? 24th? I don't know. The days are lost to me these days. Just waiting to die. At least that's what 2020 feels like. That's what 2020 feels like. But things are starting to lax up. Pubs are opening up, which is cool. And restaurants are opening up. Whatever your opinion of that is, whether it's a gamble, whether I'm just glad everything's coming back. It'll be interesting to see what will happen. I think the people that are complaining about it all opening back up, but and this is going to sound very cynical and very backwards, but I think if you're complaining about things opening up, but also if you support the protests, it's difficult to make your concerns that valid, because the protests are going to be the worst thing for COVID-19. Now, yes, I agree, we had to protest. It's getting ridiculous, and it's making people think in the right direction. It's changing a lot of people's viewpoints. But you can't have it that way, and then when stuff reopens, worry about the COVID-19 situation, because it's already ridiculous right now. And there are so many people not following the rules. But all you can do really is, if you don't the thing is, if you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. That's all you can really do. Keep social distancing and do your best. Now, fortunately, there are a lot of people out there who, they have to go to work. They have to do stuff, and they will be pressured to go to work because maybe not enough staff will be there, or they'll hire someone else who's looking for a job. But just follow your gut, follow what you feel's right. I've got a social distance still. I've got, me myself, I'm high risk. Members of my family that live in my household are high risk, so it gets really painful. So every now and then I'll get like do you want to come, like I was asked to go to the park and just have a drink and chill and chat, and I'd have loved to have done that, but it's really difficult right now. It's really difficult I can't do stuff like that. I was also asked if I wanted to go to a barbecue, and that's another thing I would have loved to go. I mean, size of me. But it's all about socialising, and I think I'm social starved at the moment. I feel like I need that interaction with people, and it's really challenging. It's really challenging, but you do it because you do it because there are things that are a bit more important than what you want. Sometimes you got to think about people around you. I went to Sports Direct. That's probably the only thing that I perhaps could argue I didn't need, but I feel like I do. I got some active wear, so I could do a bit more exercise. I say active wear. It's like a basketball shorts and a basketball vest, like a sleeveless basketball top. But the thing is, you could use that for active wear anyway, for running and all that. It's not a big issue. So you can use it for multiple things. I just got it for basketball because I wanted to play basketball at some point, and I've got stuff that I could play football in. I've got football tops, I've got shorts, but these ones are a bit longer. And I'll just grab this. I got this basketball M&M Direct, £10. I wanted to play basketball really badly. Can't find the ball pump, which is very frustrating. So next time someone's in town, I might ask them, can you pick me up this basketball pump? Well, it's not even a basketball pump, it's just a normal pump. Get it from Sports Direct. It'll pump footballs, basketballs, tyres for bikes and that, anything like that. And it's just a little, used to that action anyway. But I want to play basketball pretty badly. I guess I'm just sort of in this. I think I touched upon this last episode. I sort of want to get better at stuff. I want to be known as being good at certain things, and I think sports is one of those things that I've always loved. I've loved the competitive aspect of sports, and I'm alright at football. You look at me and you think I'm a centre back, but I'm actually pretty good with the ball on my feet, and I can play. It's not like I can't play. I want to be the same with basketball, with darts, with golf. Man, shit, I want to be the ultimate lad. Look at me, I'm fucking. But it's just fun. It's just fun. Like I said last time, I wanted to do golf at the driving range and also go to the pitch and putt to train that. But I also wanted to do foot golf. Now, just in case I didn't explain it last episode, quick synopsis of foot golf in case you didn't know what it was or couldn't figure out because of the name. Imagine playing golf, but you don't use a club, you don't use a golf ball, you just kick a football and the holes are bigger. That's what foot golf is. And I'd like that. I think I'd be alright at it. And it's a bit of fun, and even my dad would probably enjoy it. My little brother would enjoy it. The other one, he says he won't enjoy it, but that's because all he does is play fucking COD. So he needs to get out of the house fucking pronto. His skin's calling out for it. But like I said, that's something I want to do. But we gotta wait for certain situations to resolve themselves before that can happen. But it'll be a good day. It'll be a real good day. It'll be good to be out in the sun. It'd be good to, get a bit of exercise in. It's a lot of walking, foot golf, a lot of walking, but I think it'd be really fun. Something that I've been looking to do. And like I said before about darts, I want to do that. I couldn't. I said before I couldn't do it because there's just nowhere in the house to put it. But my mum came up with this idea of having it set up outside somewhere and then bringing it in when when it's like when you've used it, so it doesn't get damaged by rain. But I was thinking, how like you have like a hood on, and then you have the little strings and you pull them and they just close out your face like your Kenny from South Park. What if I had like a tarpaulin thing with like rope around it and I just pull it tight, and then nothing can get in it, like rain or anything, and the dartboard would be fine if it was outside or anything like that. You'd have to say in the comments whether that's a smart idea or a stupid one. I don't know how it'd do with snow or anything like that, but yeah, I had an idea of maybe like getting a shed and putting it at the end of the shed, and then making the shed exactly like the size from, like, if you were to have is it an oakie? Is that what it's called? It's like the little board at the bottom that measures the distance between the darts player and the darts board. And I want to practice on the official size, so that I know, like if I'm throwing, like I know I can practice like that. Because eventually, I think it'd be cool to like every night, like, oh, you want to go play, play for my darts team or whatever this weekend. Yeah, it'd be fun. That sort of stuff. And not suck completely. I'm not saying I want to be the next Feel the Power fucking Taylor, but I at least want to, not spend an hour on a leg trying to hit double one for like half an hour. Be fun, real fun to try all that stuff. Yeah, I've been getting a hankering for going out and doing sports, like really badly, but sports I don't really usually do that much. So yeah, well, I'll definitely see to do that at some point soon, hopefully. Sitting in all day gets you a bit like itchy anchy. Is that a word? Itchy anchy? No. Antsy to go outside and get some shit done. But yeah, that's just it. That's it about that. I'm just looking forward to the football match tonight. Really, I think that's the big thing for today. It's like the football match. Man United, Sheffield United. Pretty difficult situation. Tottenham just beat West Ham 2-0. Thought it would happen, but I was hoping that West Ham would get a result. And when Villa was leading Chelsea, I was like, oh yes, get in. But then they beat them 2-1 and I got depressed again. So we're in this situation where we sort of have to beat Sheffield United. And the thing is, we've got, our fixture list isn't that bad. Our toughest game after this is Leicester, and Leicester are really underperforming right now. They've drawn against Watford and Brighton, two teams who are relegation candidates, and they've looked the worst of team on both occasions, in my opinion. So I don't know what they're doing the second half of the season. I don't know whether Brendan needs to touch up on something around the team. But that was interesting, and so we want to get that top four. I don't know what the top 5 situation will be. because obviously City will be second, and we don't know what's going to happen with them. Are they gonna make 5th place go to the Champions League, or are they gonna just add another team from another country and give them an extra slot? But I feel that's unfair for them to do that. I think they need to give it to 5th place, just simply because you can't have one team damned the entire league. I think that's unfair on the rest of the on the rest of the teams. I think the only fair way to do it is to get 5th place to do it. And this was mentioned a few years ago, actually, and I wonder what people would think about it. So the idea was, I don't know if you remember this, if you're a football fan, but there's a number of years ago they were talking about how they would do a playoff system to decide who would get into Champions League. And it would be between 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. I love that idea. I think it's a real good idea, and I love a playoff situation. And just get to that playoff final. It'd be at Wembley. They win the match. They go on to Champions League, and you'd see a lot more variation in the Champions League. You'd see a lot more teams like Wolves, if Tottenham. I mean, and this is speaking as a United fan, we're fighting for 5th, 4th. So if we choked against Wolves, we'd be out and we'd be in Europa League. And I think that'd be I think that'd be a really fun way to do it. Like, the playoff system is a very, I think, good idea for that sort of thing. But there's a number of other things that I think they should that have been suggested that I thought would be a fun idea, like adding Rangers and Celtic to the English Football League. And I think the only fair way to do it would be to put Celtic in League One and put Rangers in the same division, and they fight to be promoted, because Celtic have got such a massive fan base. They'd be in the Premier League back-to-back seasons. It wouldn't be difficult for them, I don't think. You got to follow the rules of the league, but Celtic's squad are just not good enough for the Premier League yet. So you can't just jump in the Premier League. That'd be unfair. Jump them in League One, you got a conversation to go there. You add them in. You add Rangers in. I think they both end up in the Premier League, and you get some really interesting, you get the Premier League would get the derby, the old firm derby, and you get the passion. But you'd have better players playing around the passion, so it'd be a spectacle for world football. It already is, but at the moment they're playing like championship football, if that. With a couple players that could break into the Premier League. You look at Alfredo Morales, you look at Ryan Kent for Glasgow, and for Celtic, you're looking at Edson Edouard and that's it. And James Forrest. You got players that could make that leap, but that was an interesting idea, and also that do something similar to what Germany and Spain do, where adding our reserve teams would be interesting, because it'd be interesting to see how would Manchester United's reserve team do in League One, Championship. You'd have it'd be like Man United B, Chelsea B, Liverpool B, and you have the top teams in world football just added into the Football League. And it'd be just so good for the game of football, because you just get so much better competition. You know, if your youth system isn't that good, but you have a blinding couple players who come through the under-16s, you bring up to under-23s, and then they just bomb your team up the league tables for the next like 3 years. You know, they're playing with decent competition, and I think it works really well in Spain and Germany. I've never seen a reserve team get to the first division, and you wouldn't see that, I don't think, at all. But imagine if you did. I mean, who's got the best youth system right now in terms of young players? Man United are definitely up there. I don't care what people say. We've got incredible talent at the under-23 level, despite how we played before. Liverpool have got a very good youth system. So have City. Chelsea have always had a good system. Southampton, they've not been as good as before, but with the competition they could really get up there because they've got an incredible youth system. But you see these teams like bomb up the leagues, and I think you do that for a certain amount of teams, and you see how it works, and then you can, you see how it works, and if it doesn't work, you can always veto it and veto it. You can always get rid of it. It's something that's not set in stone. If it happens, you can get rid of it, and then you just promote more teams that would have been in that division up. So it wouldn't be unfair for those teams to be like, oh, we got a boost. So, there's ways you can go about doing that. So, very interesting ideas there. Very interesting ideas that I'd definitely be interested in, because I think the big thing that our youth system is calling out for, because the problem is, you get a lot of people, young players, who leave this country and go to Germany and go to, go abroad, and they go and improve themselves as footballers. And we have to pay lots of money to get them back in the country. What if we had better competition for our youth system? So that, because then if we go, okay, he's performing. So say if you're Manchester United B, you're in the Championship. You're in the lower half of the Championship, yeah. You're playing with like teams against teams like Luton, and you're struggling. But if you've got one player who stands out in the Championship, who's constantly performing, you're laughing, We get another Mason Greenwood in, who's banging in 20 goals in the Championship for a struggling side. You're going to give him a chance in the first team. It's just going to happen. Because it's very difficult to say, is that player ready for the big time? He's not playing at that level, but if you up the level, you'd have a more clear idea of whether he's ready for that next step. And yes, you have the loan system, but that's a completely different team. That's a completely different philosophy of football. If you have a reserve team that follows a similar path of philosophy to how the first team play, they'll be used to playing for the system, but they'll be playing it with better players when they get called up to the first team. And also, you could have, players drop down to the under-23s. You can have the manager go, right, we are not going to play you for the first team much this season, so we're going to register you for the B squad, and if you improve, we might promote you up to the first team. You're looking at players like Dimitri Mitchell, players like that, Angel Gomez, I mean, Angel Gomez, he wants to leave. If he's playing in the Championship, I don't think he'd want to leave. If he's playing for Man United B with a chance of getting into Man United, unless the team who had bigger aspirations wanted him. If you look at a team that needs a midfielder of his quality, or a big team, if Leicester come calling for Angel Gomez, I'd struggle to see. Wait, what am I on about? They don't need a midfielder. Why did I say Leicester? But a team like Leicester, a team of Leicester's level that need a midfielder. I'm trying to think of one, because I was going to say Everton, but Everton don't need a midfielder really like that. I'm struggling. I don't think there is any, but if there were, you give him up to that team, and they give him a chance, and he'd get first team football. Because there's no way he's not as good. He's not better than Hamza Chowdhury. I mean, what I've seen of Hamza Chowdhury, he's not been that impressive. So a team like that would benefit with that type of player. If we bought Maddison, I would expect them to maybe go for a player like Angel Gomez in a part of an exchange, because he'd be a perfect type replacement, young player who could go up to the first team. But yeah, it's just some ideas about football that I've had rocking around in my noggin that I thought might be good ideas. That's because I'm just thinking about football. It's just good to have the Premier League back. Good to have the world of football watching us again. And, it's good when football comes back. So, yeah, I'm interested in watching it. But when Man United came back, I was like... Yes. Like that Tottenham game, I was like... Heart in my mouth. Literally. Heart in my mouth. When we let in that goal, I was like, oh. I was so glad I weren't live streaming it, because I'd have been so negative. But we've got a good squad. We've got a good squad, and if Pogba starts against Sheffield United, who knows? Who knows? I don't know if he will start though, and I'll tell you why. Because if people will be baffled by that statement because of how good he was, but I don't know what his fitness levels are. You've seen with Harry Kane, he scored a goal, but he still looked unfit in that Brighton game. And I don't know what Paul Pogba will do in 90 minutes, whether he could do that in that midfield type environment. So I don't know if you give Fred another go, if you give Scotty McTominay another go. I think you play Fred if Pogba's not fit, but I think you give Fred Pogba's role of going up and attacking and defending and general box to box, and you just let Scott McTominay do what Scott McTominay does best, which is just play that holding role. And people say, I like Scott being a box to box midfielder. I hate Scotty McTominay doing box to box role. I love seeing him eventually go up and have an effort. I love seeing Scott McTominay as a holding midfielder, because he's strong, he's quick, and he's great with a tackle, which is everything you need for a defensive midfielder. Now, there's added things, of course. How's your anticipation? How's your reading of the game? But he's got all that, and also he's got Michael Carrick, to learn under. He could really be that player for us if we develop him. I want a defensive midfielder to come in, but if Scott McTominay ended up becoming the next Wilfred Ndidi, Declan Rice type player, you're like, whoa, we've saved 50, 60, 70 million here on one of our own talent who's going to play defensive midfield, and he could be one of those players. I always, it might be the Scottish link. He reminds me of Darren Fletcher at the moment as a player who will come in, who will be reliable and will play a lot, but will be seen as probably a bench player, because you're comparing them to Scholes and Keane and players like that. he can come in and be quality for us. And Fergie always used Fletch. I think Ole really likes Scotty, and Scotty's a quality player, and I think he'll be happy with his role right now. And if he plays a lot, even better. But you know, I think we just need that beast in midfield, that beast who just fucking runs shit on the defence in midfield. You know, a player who I wanted for ages for Man United to sign was Idrissa Gueye from Everton. And when he went to PSG, I was like, well, he's too old now. By the time we'd be able to sign him, he'd be 30. So that deal went. So, you know, maybe like a Dennis Zakaria. Just a player like that, a real beast. Just a really strong player, a quick player also, but just wins a tackle and recycles the ball. The N'Golo Kante clone. We're not going to get N'Golo Kante player. We're not going to get that. N'Golo Kante is a one-of-a-kind player. That's the Kante role now. There was the Makalele role, but he's passed the torch to N'Golo Kante. That's the Kante role. Despite the fact that Kante's not been playing that role recently, he deserves that role. He needs to have respect put on his name. We need a Kante clone. We need the next best thing, and I think that's Wilfred Ndidi. That's why I want him so bad. He'd be my top target for next season. Sancho would. I forgot about Sancho. How could I forget about Sancho? It'd be Sancho and then Ndidi, and then you'd have to sell a player you'd have to sell 2 or 3 players. So say you go, right, Roma, how about we sell you Chris Smalling? Alright, we would have had an added fee of 25 million, but you can get him now for 20. You sell him for 20. You sell Pereira 25. You sell Juan Mata. You just be ruthless. You get rid of players that you're not going to use, and you get Wilfred Ndidi in and Jadon Sancho, and automatically your first team looks incredible. And do you need to replace players like Juan Mata and that? No, you just bring in talent from the youth system that are ready to come up. You know, James Garner, you bring him up. Angel Gomez, you bring him up. You know, you get rid of Chris Smalling. Oh, Axel Twanzebe, you're ready. We've got Eric Bailly there as well. You can get rid of Phil Jones as well. That's another 20 million just for being a Man United first teamer, perceived. You know, a defence of Harry Maguire, Lindelof, Twanzebe, and Bailly is pretty deep. It's a pretty deep midfield, and you've got players from the youth system who can come in as well, who will do a decent job. And yeah, you know, you got Luke Shaw who can come in as centre back. He's proved to be quality as centre back. You could have Brandon Williams coming at left back if you want. We've got depth in so many positions. If I was Ole, I'd be thinking, right, I know Mark Goldbridge hates this idea, but you make Delo a right winger. That's another big thing I'd do. And why'd you do that? It stops people playing on the right wing that don't perhaps need to be there. Now, you could put Mason Greenwood there, but I'd like to see him develop as a striker. I want to see Delo play there and then play as a right wing back if we play a 5 at the back. And then you have you'd have one, basically I'd have the 2 full backs at centre back. So I'd have Wan-Bissaka on the right side of centre back, and I'd have Delo as right wing back, bombing up and down the pitch, doing crosses because he's incredible offensively. I'd have, I don't know, a reliable name like a Maguire go at centre back, right at the centre. Left centre back, you'd have Shaw, and you'd have Brandon Williams at left wing back. You know, we have so much variation in that team where we could do a lot with it. Because he's just not going to get into that first team as a right back. He's not. And they're thinking of selling him. They're thinking of selling him because of that. But, you know, I'm really excited about our team. Really excited. And I'll be interested to see what we do in the window the next few years. But, you know, transfers are getting quicker all the time. I mean, the window hasn't started, and Chelsea remind me of how I do my business, because they signed 2 players before the season's even ended. And that's what I do on FM. I'll get a player in every now and then and sign him. And I'll be like, oh, he'll join at the end of the season. Chelsea look incredible next year. Ziyech and Werner are just bang. That's these are the players that are going to make us title contenders, and that sounds crazy to say, but I don't think you understand the talent of Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech. They're both incredible players. Hakim Ziyech makes the game of football look easy in midfield. He has a great delivery, he's great on the ball, he's skillful, he's relatively quick, and he's a great ranged passer, and he reads the game fantastic. And you look at Timo Werner, who's just the all-round complete striker of relatively strong, quick. You know, he's the Jamie Vardy clone. If you're not going to get Jamie Vardy, you get Timo Werner, and Timo Werner is arguably an upgrade because of his age as well. So, it's difficult to say no to that team. It's going to be interesting next few years. Next few years in the Premier League. It's a nice day out. I don't know if you can see the little rays of sun beaming in from my window. It's a nice day. Nice day. Been nice last few days, which has been good. You know, it's just why the fuck couldn't COVID happened fucking, you know, just gone Christmas through, and then, you know, everything relaxed in the summer, so everything could be good. I'm desperate for a break. Desperate for a break. A break from what, you ask? From here. From here. I just feel like I need to be somewhere different right now. Somewhere where I can just be on my own. Be on my own. Be alone with my thoughts. And this is really helping me. This the RambleCast. It's really helping me. Just talk and get my mind off things and stuff like that. But I feel like I feel like I need there's a lot of things I want to do. I guess that's the big thing. That's the main thing to take away from this. There's lots of stuff I just want to go out and do. Like, if I feel like doing this, and then go out and do it. And not have people ask me, why would you want to do that, and stuff like that. I just want to go do it. Which I don't have right now. And I've not had for a very long time. And I mean, arguably I've never had it. You know, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to live alone for a while. Or with mates. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And I just think a week away would just rejuvenate everything. You know, I'm in the same place all the time. And if I leave the house, I'm going to the same places I would go if I left the house. And it would just be nice to go somewhere where stuff's just a bit different, where, you know, I'd just love to somewhere by myself, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing to say and a weird thing to think about. But that's what I want right now. I want to be with friends, because I haven't been with my friends in a while. So that I preferably would be with my friends, but I want to be with my friends with with sometimes being alone by myself, which obviously you would have. The option to go and I'm gonna just go back to my hotel room, just chill in my hotel room, do whatever. Oh, you know what? I feel like having a walk along the beach. Yeah, that'd be the life. It's one of those things where I've experienced where a lot of the times I want to do something and it'll be like either no, because this, or oh, why would you want to do that? And I hate that. I hate when you want to do something and people say, oh, why would you want to do that? Because it's just because I want to do it. Just fuck off. Just leave me alone and let me fucking make decisions for myself for once. And I'm not just moaning about people I live with, like my parents and that. It's just anyone, really. Why would you want to do that? Because I want to do it. Why would you want to fucking do what you do? You know. And that's, I think, the big problem I have right now. And it's a very luxurious problem, because obviously there are a lot of people dealing with a lot right now. I'm dealing with stuff right now, but there's a lot of people dealing with some really horrible, nasty stuff in this world. You know, of course, we're in a pandemic. We're in a time of fighting and conflict. People are getting hurt. People are dying. So my problems aren't that important compared to what other people are going through right now. You know, I don't have to go into work every day with the fear of having to deal with hundreds of sick who have a disease that we don't know how to treat. I don't have that problem. I don't have to go into a trench and suit up to ready to go on an intel mission. I don't have to be on a boat in the middle of the ocean and constantly be under stress of being attacked by an enemy ship. I don't have these problems. And that's not to say if you have small problems that they should be ignored, but sometimes it, for me at least, it can help to just think, at least I don't have these problems. At least I don't have the problems that, you know, what if I'm going to die? What if someone close to me dying? Or God forbid someone close to me dies or anything like that. I don't have that problem right now. But so I guess it kind of makes you a bit more thankful for what you have. But I think I'm going to end that there on a pretty sad note. I don't know what I'm going to call this theme. Maybe sports. But this has been a very uplifting but then depressing end to the RambleCast. Why do I make this depressing all the fucking time? It's because I'm not doing anything. Oh well, I'll see you guys later. Fallout stream coming, and May 9 review.